Let's go to the calls. Let's see what we've got. Eric in Indiana, truck driving out there. Welcome to the show. Hi, Eric. It's good to have you with us.
George!
There he is.
This is Eric the Mind Control guy. How's everybody doing tonight?
Everything's fine. We keep you awake, or do you keep us awake?
A little of both, Eric.
I think so.
Both, George. I was wondering, have you ever had any folks that are into the flat Earth theory on?
Yes, we sure have. And they are pretty darn staunch about believing that the planet is flat.
Yeah, I was been reading a book lately by a feller by the name of Eric Dubay, and it's called The Flat Earth Conspiracy. And I'll tell you what, if you've never read that book...
It's compelling, isn't it?
Wow, yes it is. And I was kind of wondering, I couldn't call in the other night because that would have been twice in one night, and I know that's a no-no.
That's a violation.
Exactly. When Mr. Graham Hancock was on, and I was kind of wondering, I wonder if anybody's ever put into their head, because I know Mr. Graham Hancock and Mr. David Hatcher Childress and a few others devote their entire lives to finding out our past. And I was wondering if somebody could possibly yourself, bring that up to them and ask
Sure.
if they'd ever thought of investigating that.
Sure. Now, let me ask you, though. Do you think the planet's really flat?
Well, I'll tell you what, George, there's a lot of things that just don't seem to make a whole lot of sense as far as the things that have prepondered me since I was a little kid. You have this great big global Earth, and then you have all this water, and I'm like, why isn't the water falling off?
Gravity.
Gravity.
Gravity keeps it. And don't forget now, we've had pictures taken from the moon on the planet, and it's round. Mm-hmm. It's round.
Yeah, and so some of the things that would, to me, that would prove it one way or the other. Now, if the Earth is indeed flat, okay, now where I live in Indiana, I can look up any given night and I can see the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, providing that the moon's not blocking out the stars on a bright night.
On a nice bright night.
And I'm thinking, well, if the folks in the Antarctic were down where they are, if they could look up and they could see the same sky that I am, that would kind of make you wonder, wouldn't it?
It sure would. It sure would. But my guess is that the planet's round. Oval-shaped, not flat. Let's go to Mahan in Austin, Texas, wild card line, one of our favorite cities. Hello, Mahan.
Noory, how are you, sir?
Fine. How are you?
I'm fair to middling.
That's not bad.
No, it's not, is it?
Not at all. What's up? You've been on hold for a while.
Yes, I've been wanting to talk to you. You had a great guest on there just a minute ago, Rush. Is his name Rush?
Russ Dizdar.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. He's like the lady said, I agree with her, did it to it, that he was on the mark.
He sure was.
Well, when I was telling your screener earlier, my last name is Mahan.
Oh, so that's what he's got. I thought that was a first name.
Yeah, well, down here, most of us go down by our last names, and that's why I was calling you Noory.
All right, that's fine.
Mr. George. And so I looked up Mahan, and I found out it was in the Bible. I looked it up a little bit more, and then there's it came up Master Mahan on Wikipedia.
Like some expert in some trade or something?
No, it if you could see it goes into that. It comes from Cain and Abel, and Cain titled himself Master Mahan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's not a good situation.
Well, yeah, but you're not like that. You're not like Cain.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, no, I'm not claiming that side, but fortunately, if I'm related or no, I'm not related to Cain, but he titled himself Master Mahan.
Interesting last name, though.
It is. And conceived here in Austin and born in Italy, Italian citizen, baptized in the Roman Catholic Church, it goes on. But I wanted to say is that the other night, last night, you had something about the Big Bang Theory.
Again, another theory that I just don't get.
It comes from an octave.
Explain.
It comes from an octave, man, that, like when you just said gravity, there's a push that keeps the water upon the earth. There's a push, and when the positive and the negative pushed together, it became the Big Bang in an octave vibration that went across the universe.
But I see what I don't get is, what's your first name, by the way? Do you ever go by it?
David.
David. All right. Do you use that much?
There's too many damn Davids.
But there's only one Mahan.
You got that right, buddy.
But I just don't get the fact that this happened from nothing. I just don't get it.
How does the water stay on the earth?
Well, yeah, but that's gravity. I can understand that, a force that does that. But when, I want to know what happened before time. And, they say time began when the universe began. I just don't comprehend that. But I
explain to people about the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, now that's where that comes in, because when that happens, then it starts to make sense. Anyways, we take your texts and your tweets. Tom's got a couple of them for us.
We're going to go with a text from April in New York.
What a fast night, by the way.
Very fast. It's almost over already.
Slow it down.
I wanted to ask you something real quick, though, because I forgot to ask you. Have you ever heard that God is so powerful that we don't understand a lot of things?
Well, there's no doubt about that.
So, because I've always wondered this, and I forget to talk to you about it. So, why are you so surprised that you don't understand how the world was created?
Because my mind is practical, and I need to think in terms of stages, and I just don't get what nothingness is.
I don't either, but you're not supposed to.
I can't comprehend nothing.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah.
So this is from a text from April in New York. What changes to NASA would you make if you became president, and do you think Trump will make those changes?
I don't know if Trump will make those changes, quite frankly, but if I were in the seat and had to make some changes, I would make NASA more of a promotable vehicle for the country, something that we could have fun and excitement when we talked about space and missions. And I would really try to explore a little quicker than what they're doing. I would get us to Mars, not by 2030, but by 2025. Definitely going back to the moon. But NASA needs to be exciting again. I remember in my days, we all wanted to be astronauts when we were kids, Tom. And we talked about NASA and space. It was exciting. Kids don't talk about NASA anymore.
It's just not glitzy.
Yeah, it's not there. They need to make that a mission. They really do.
They need a marketing department.
Right. Let's go back to the phones. We shall pick it up by going to Harry in Portland, Oregon, west of the Rockies. Harry, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question that I wished I would have been able to ask your guest.
Uh-huh.
I have a comment on your flat Earth thing while I was waiting.
Sure.
The question I would have liked to have asked was if your guest had thought that this kind of hypnotic chanting that they do during these protests has anything to do with any conditioning.
Ah, that is a good question. I can't answer it for you, obviously, but we'll try to get him back on eventually, and I'll ask him that. But that makes a lot of sense.
Now, the comment on the flat Earth thing is, if the Earth was flat, you would think that when you looked out into space, you would see some other planet that was possibly flat. And all I see are round planets.
Bingo. That's right.
The only thing that comes close to that would be if you've seen the rings on Saturn, but that's made up of particles.
That's right.
And the Earth isn't made up of particles like that. I mean, they are particles, but they're a lot more solid than the thing that you would see.
I would bet the ranch that Earth is round.
Yeah. And also, if you've gone up in an airplane, you kind of see that curvature of the Earth. You don't even have to go all the way up to see like those pictures that they did when they went to the moon.
Well, and I have yet not heard of anybody falling off the edge of the planet. Not yet, anyways. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Bruce out there in New York, east of the Rockies. Hey, Bruce, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, hi, George. It's really funny. I wanted to get in when Russ was there, but by the time it's all through, it gets very funny and laughing with some of your guests, especially the guy when you have names. My first name means patience.
I love
I'll
it.
give you a good humor on it. Look up my last name, 2 syllables, Babcock, and you'll get a good laugh out of it.
You got it.
But I won't touch that one. And in terms of the guy with the Earth being flat, the best way to get the laws of physics is spin a bicycle tire and try to push against it. The force is perpendicular to the circular rotation.
Exactly.
And
Well
in terms
said.
of God, has anybody ever really understood what black matter really is? In the Bible, it says God opened his hands, and dark matter. Explain it.